Greetings, ghouls and goblins, my universe and my nudie, and it's time for another Lazyween special. Yeah, mostly for this year. I'm sorry, um, it's mostly movies. Maybe next year, there'll be like more of an assortment. But for this year, we're just taking a look at an assortment of basically movies. But this time, we're taking a look at something that I actually haven't done before, surprisingly enough, on the channel. And that is reviewing an indie film. Now, an indie film is usually an independent movie that every once in a while one comes along that just redefines people, and there's still indie movies that are still being made to this day. Which, of course, Evil Dead 2 was technically considered an indie movie before Army of Darkness was budgeted by Universal. But we're actually going to take a look at an actual indie film that a lot of people actually enjoy. And it's one that I too enjoy, but also it's not one that I would really say would like be the greatest in the world. We'll come back to this in a little bit. But I am, of course, taking a look at a, and I'll get back to this in just a bit, a cursed film. And that is, we're taking a look at Antrum, or I'm just going to call it Antrum for the life of it, but it's just also is known as Antrum, the deadliest film ever made. Just to let people know, spoilers, just to be forewarned, spoilers are ahead. There are some spoilers, and also for people that have epilepsy or heart seizures, please do not watch this review. But again, just be forewarned that there also is a lot of demonic imagery or images, so if you're not into that, please do not watch this video out of respect for you guys all. And again, I'm just going to mention this. This film has a lot to do with pentagram, demonic imagery, and stuff like that. So if people are going to be offended by that, click off the video now. You have been warned. And also, I will let you know this, that in case you're wondering if this will be too bloody or gory, no. Mostly it is psychological horror film, so no, not really. So, but anyways, cursed films have been around for years, and people have always experimented with the cursed film variety. Think of John Carpenter's Cigarette Burns, or the ever-popular Ringu or Ring adaptations. And that will give you an idea of what we're looking at here. Antrum is considered to be a lost film. It was a film made in the 1970s that basically is a cursed film to have people die whenever that they ever experience it. It's a weird sort of trick to get people to go, yes, see, cursed, cursed movie. Which I do like that the film does use basically old nostalgic video cameras that you would have seen in the 70s to, I would say, the 90s, which is pretty good too. And how they made the film quality look like it came from the past. I gotta give the crew credit for this one, is that it's honestly really one of the best. The movie spends about 10 minutes at best just explaining like how this movie is cursed. Even at the ending, during the end credits, they still try to play it on you like, oh yeah, this is a cursed movie. Like, they're just trying to sell what you're buying here. And I have seen a lot of reviews where people have called it like a critically acclaimed movie, and that some people in the horror variety say that it's one of the best that they have ever seen. I quite frankly agree, but disagree. But we'll come back to this later on. So without further ado, let's go into the woods and dig a portal to hell. That's actually what the kids are doing in this movie. I'll explain in just a bit. But why don't we dig into Antrum, the deadliest film ever made, and see what exactly makes this so deadly. You probably have already found out, but I'll explain more in a bit. But for now, let's dive into the portals of hell and see what we can find with Antrum. You want to talk about depressing? The movie begins with the death of a dog. That is not a joke, that's legitimately how this movie originally opens up. While on the ride home, the little boy asks his mother if his doggy went to heaven. His mom doesn't answer him the entire car ride. I think the mom checked out of this movie. But anyway, the brother and sister actually go together to try to find the dog. Where is the dog? Well, she was sent to hell, so they're gonna go to hell to send her to heaven. This is a very unique concept for the movie, is that there are these kids that's going into hell to save their dog. honestly, that's not bad. Actually, that seems something like something that a kid would actually think of, you know. And there's a reason why his sister is doing this, and she's not exactly too good. But I'm gonna get into more of that in just a bit. That's why I said spoilers. That's why I'm warning you again. If you do not want this movie spoiled and you want to see it for yourself, click off the video now. You've been warned. Um, but I do actually like that. It's kind of like sweet and sincere. You know, he just lost his dog and he's grieving. You know, and that makes sense because when people lose a cat, dog, animal that's very special to you, you do go through your own grieving period, and you know that's all for the better. And sometimes when people get over grief, it's usually sometimes shorter, sometimes longer. But it's just a grieving period. A grieving period is what they're going through, and sometimes it's short, sometimes it's long. And I do like that he hasn't really fully accepted what happened to his dog. I kind of hate that the mother character doesn't get any lines of dialogue whatsoever. It's just that she completely shuts out of this movie by this point. She's just kind of like, I'm driving this car, you little bastards are in this, so paycheck, Janice. Think of the paycheck. Just think of the paycheck. Like, the actress is completely, like, shut out. I don't know if this was just a thing or not, but whatever. But I do really like that idea because it seems like something that a child, like an older sibling, would do for the younger sibling, kind of create an adventure for them to actually go. But yet the sister did not intend on what actually happened in this movie, but we'll come back to this in just a little bit here. One thing I have to say that I do like is that they have a lot of religious symbolism still, and a lot of religious sigils to try to keep them protected while they're digging their way into hell. And the kids aren't literally digging a portal to hell, more of like a metaphor that they're metaphorically digging their way straight into the bowels of hell. It's more that they just keep digging this hole, and the hole over time just keeps getting bigger and bigger, while they have to listen for noises like monsters, demons, and etc. stuff like that. But then they're attacked by one of Satan's most deadly minions, the most deadly and fearsome of all, stop motion squirrels! Nice fucking model! Not to be too harsh on the movie or anything, but you do have to see that what is happening here is that it's like, really? I mean, it made me laugh so hard the first time I saw this movie. Was that they were trying to be like squirrels are the main enemy, and then when they showed that stop motion squirrel, I lost it. I am a sucker for stop motion, so I'm not gonna pick on it. It's a little wonky and weird looking, but aside from that, I'm a sucker for stop motion animation, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are too. It's just that when that reveal came, I was like, really, 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 squirrels. Squirrels are Satan's minions. You know, the more that I think about it, the more that suddenly entirely makes sense. I do like how the movie, very similar to Blair Witch Project, tried to make the woods as a terrifying place, which, in all honesty, a woods can be a very terrifying place, especially to young kids. There's even a moment in here that comes straight out of The Hills Have Eyes or the Texas Chainsaw Massacre where the kids run into what I assume are cannibals? Question mark? But this is where we get to the big reveal. The sister never actually knew that there was a portal to hell. She made it up just to make her brother absolutely happy.
I made it up. I made it all up. I was trying to help you.
Now that's the beauty of the film and what makes it even more creepier. If the sister made it up, then how is all of this happening? Why is this happening to these children and what's going on? This is why I love the genre of psychological horror, is that you have to draw your own conclusions into what is really happening. Is, are they really going straight into hell, or are these just unforeseen circumstances that these kids are put through? We don't, as the viewer, officially know. And the director and crew and whatever however, never really officially tell us, so you have to draw your own conclusion. We have to be our own map pats here and basically gather up our own theories. My theory is that occasionally I don't think that necessarily that this could be really happening to these kids. I don't think that they are officially like possessed by the devil or anything like that. Funny that I mentioned that, which I'll come back to that later. But I do like to think that maybe, just maybe at first, it was a fun little adventure that his sister was doing for him, just to make him happy because of what happened to his dog and everything. He was depressed, and I get that. Doing something special for a kid that means the world to them makes all the more fucking difference when you see that they're more happier than less sad. But I do have to say that I probably think that the brother, when his sister revealed that, like, I made this all up, that never officially happened, I think that something inside of him snapped, and that he wanted to get revenge against his sister. He's like, "Oh, you bitch. You lied to me? You said that we were going to go see my doggy? Well, you know what? We're going to be putting up our old dukes here, and we're going to be throwing down for the real round pound here. So, also, there's no witnesses. So I can hide your body where I please. And yeah, I'd like to think that probably that is what happened. Her brother just been pushed to the point where he's not coming back anymore, and he wanted revenge against his sister. And these are kids, mind you, put into the most terrible of terrible situations, and yet they somehow came out on top of it, managing to survive whatever the hell that they just witnessed. I also have to give very much credit to the sound design of this movie, as the sound design is pretty much what sells this movie, truthfully. Just everything of the sound design.
There's no bringing it back. I know. It's just your soul. Scratched you. They scratched me.
Which the ending is not my favorite. We don't know what happened to her brother, but we assume that he becomes possessed by the Cerberus and is delivered to hell. But again, just one last time, I gotta give credit to the sound designer of the movie and the person that does the compositions. Let me see if I can get her name here. I don't know. I don't see his name on the back of here. Oh, Alicia Flicker. She does quite an amazing job with this music. Holy crap! Just the way that she can make things sound very haunting and mysterious is honestly, all in all, much for the greater part of this. And I really do like it. There is a moment in here where it's just nothing but chains rattling, and it makes such an unsettling and uncomfortable noise for you all. And yes, the film is basically possessed by the devil. The entire time while you're watching it, which really is distracting, is that you're watching a pretty decent movie. And then you see the devil either appear in the background or the movie will cut and then it will go to like people being tortured, going through devilistic rituals and whatnot. And then you cut to the face of the devil in the movie and that's it. I mean, it basically makes the film less worthy of watching. Yes, it's still enjoyable, but that's what really kind of like dragged down the film. Is like you're getting into it and then it just goes straight into something else with no explanation as to what happened. And I got to be that guy and say that's not good for the film. I know what it's trying to convey. It's trying to convey that this is a possessed film or killer film or haunted film, and I get that a lot. It's just that it's just so bullshit. And truthfully, it's like, okay, you put out that it is a killer film. I was expecting like a devil jump scare towards the end of the movie after it said you have watched Antrum to this entirety, just to basically give you the middle finger salute to everything. Surprisingly, no, that's not what happened. Like there was no jump scares at all through this, but it's like great. But the film just in its entirety, if you ignore the devil stuff, which I try to, is actually a decent film. The kid actors in this aren't actually annoying. They are very much likable and very sincere and everything. And the stuff that they go through, oh my god, man, I could not imagine kids going through this type of trauma. I mean, kids sometimes go through traumatic circumstances, sure, and sometimes they're made stronger for it, other times, not so much. But here, it's kind of like, the sister was pushed to a limit eventually by her own brother, which I get. I'm a brother. Sometimes I push my own sister to the limits. Oops. But I do get that. And I like to think that maybe that at the end, the brother didn't officially kill his sister. He probably just put all this trauma onto her and basically it's like, okay, you want to throw down? We're going to throw down. Because there's only so much trauma that a person can actually take before they snap like a Slim Jim and basically just never come back from it. Or maybe this was all just a psychedelic dream, like when Juliet ate those, like when Juliet basically got into those mushrooms.
Who the hell are you? Oh, Sister Juliet and Brother Nick. Let's travel to the land beyond the doors of perception. Step outside the boundaries of your mind. Lose yourself in the eternal, collective unconscious. And rot.
What? Lollipop Chainsaw is actually a decent game. Don't look at me like that. So, I bet I know what you're wondering. Would I recommend Antrum? It's only for certain people that really like psychological horror. Like psychological horror fans could really get into this one, more or less. But for other excuse me, I got something in my eye. But for other casual horror fans, they may or may not like this one so much. I recommend giving it a try, sure, but I'm not sure how many people are gonna like it. The acting is superb, the sound design by Alicia Fricker is amazingly beautiful, and the shout actors aren't really too bad. The direction is great, and the writing is okay, I guess. The whole plot of the devil possessed in the movie is not exactly the thriller of the bunch or anything, but it is a pretty unique film. Just kind of beautiful in its own design. And that is why my Funko Pop rating of Antrum, the deadliest film ever made, or just Antrum, is going to be a Megazord. Because while it looks different, while it looks unique, it's still beautiful in its own design. So Antrum deserves a Megazord. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me at Twitter with a link in the description down below. And if you want to support this channel, the best way to do so is by liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, and all that good stuff. And let me know what you guys think about Antrum, or if I have piqued your curiosity to check this film out, please do. I picked up this film brand spanking new at my thrift store that no longer exists. But yes, I'm very still sad about that. And I only paid $3 for this, and $3 for a pretty decent movie. I can't complain. So check this film out if you can, or let me know what you guys think about it. Did you like it? Did you hate it? And do you agree with me on my opinions? Let me know in the comments down below. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll be waiting for Double It Nerdy. Keep eking on. And until next time, take care. And as always, stay spooky.